Okay. Even the sun goes down. Heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie, and sometimes why. Nothing is for show, nothing is for certain. Nothing lasts forever, but until they close the curtain. It's him and I, Equimini.
What's going on YouTube? This is Marcos from Equimini Pressure Wash, and I'm back again with another video. In this video, we're going to do the handrails for the deck, for the Death Trap deck. So if you haven't seen the other videos, make sure that you go ahead and hit the button. Let's see, either it's over here or over here. Make sure you hit that little button and you can go back and look at the videos for the series and stuff. All right, to start this video off, I'm just going to basically show you what I'm gonna be doing to each section. I have 7 sections that I have to do. All I'm gonna be done is exactly the same. So only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through the first step that I'm gonna do to get the handrails up. So basically we're using the aluminum balusters, and we have to put these pieces on the 2x4s to attach to the 4x4 posts, so they'll look something like that. So I'm gonna walk you through the steps so you can see exactly what we're gonna have to do. All right, I got the 4x4 posts in place and everything. The deck floor is in place. So this is kind of the final stages and stuff. Since this deck is gonna be stained, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get everything cut out before I install it, and then I'm gonna go back and stain each piece, including the 4x4 posts. That way it won't be that hard to stain the rest of the deck. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a tape measure, and I'm gonna measure the distance between point A and point B, post 1 and post 2. The height of it from the deck itself, I always use a 4x4 or a couple of 2x4s that I put on the floor, so that way we know exactly where the 2x4 is gonna sit. That's my 4x4, so I know my 2x4 is gonna sit on top of that. So you don't have to do this first, but this is pretty much the correct height of where I'm gonna have my 2x4 in this area. And notice that I have the long way going vertical, and I don't have it like this, because what's gonna happen is the spindles are gonna fit right in top of the post. So the spindles gonna go just like this. So you can kind of imagine. So they come in different lengths. I think these are 26. No, these are not 26. These are 32. Let's see. Yeah, these posts are 32 inches. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have that 2x4 here. Then we'll have another 2x4 on top of that. So this is what it's gonna kind of look like. So we'll have a 2x4 on top of that. So as you can see, it's already up to my waist. And we're gonna have one more 2x4 that's gonna be flat on top of this one. That's gonna be our handrail at the top. So that's gonna be pretty tall. So it's gonna be a handrail that's roughly 42 inches when we get finished. So now you have an idea of what it's gonna look like. Let's go ahead and start getting it together. And I am using pressure treated lumber here. The only thing I hate about this pressure treated lumber is that it looks bad sometimes. You have to pick through it to try to find the best ones, and it doesn't always come out that way. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna measure between the 4x4s, and basically it's gonna be this height, so that way I'm not, if the post is bent or something like that, I've pretty much got the exact height or something like that. This is gonna give me an accurate measurement between the posts and stuff for the 2x4. So right now, it's basically 6 feet, almost 6 feet 5 inches, but to be 64 and 3/8 of an inch. So we're gonna cut this 2x4 right here to this length right here. Okay, after we get it cut, we're gonna get everything ready for these. These are bed railings, braces. Basically what this does is holds the 2x4 in place without you having to toenail it in, and also it makes it look better, especially when using the metal balusters and stuff. First thing we'll do is cut this down, then we're gonna have to account for this. Yes, so these are 1/4 inch thick, so you have to account for 1/4 inch. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mark our 2x4 off, and then we're gonna take off 1/2 inch for these. We're gonna take another measurement, make sure that we are good. We're going to take off 1/2 inch for the brackets, and then that should do it. So right now it's 64.5, so it's going to be 64. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 2x4. There we go. Now that I have that mark, let's get it cut. Got it right here. So this is the mark. All right, so I'm ready to cut. I'm gonna take my speed square and I'm gonna line up my mark. Put my saw right here on next to the speed square. I don't know if y'all do this, but I take my speed square and then put my circular saw right against that, and that way I get a straight edge, well, a straight cut. There we go. Nice and straight. And me, I always look on the ends of the 2x4s and take the tags off. I don't like leaving tags on stuff. Now notice if I put this in between here, it doesn't fit. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these and we're gonna slide them in place. All right, that's one. That's two. And what I'll do, I always look for the prettiest side. Both of them kind of dirty, but I guess this would be the pretty side. So what we'll do, we'll slide this in place now. So as you can see, that looks real good. For some reason, I guess, like I said, I seen someone else did something on YouTube where they had these facing up, and I'm like, why does that doesn't fit right and stuff like that? So this looks a lot better. All right, so we got that one in place. We're not gonna mount it. Only thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go up and measure the one at the top. And after we do that one, then we're basically ready. The handrail itself, we'll cut that after we get everything in place and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. So keep in mind, these, the decorative pieces, the brackets, you need to make sure that you put this side up, which is the pretty side, and the empty side is going to be down. You're not going to be able to do that on the staircases because the staircase has that angle and stuff like that. If you can do it on the staircase like that, I believe you can. Like I said, I was just following someone's instructions and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like it's right, but this is the way it should be. That looks a lot better. All right, we're going to go ahead and just measure up some, and then we're going to measure the distance between point A and point B again, or post 1 and post 2. Let's just get a accurate measurement of how tall this post is going to be and where the 2x4 is probably going to sit. So this is going to be a ballpark figure. Okay, so now we're roughly at 40 inches. Yep, that's 32. And from there up is 39.5 inches. So, two ways we can do this. You can just measure between point A and point B, or post 1 and post 2. Or you can do it like I'm gonna do, just try to get an accurate cut. I'm gonna go 39.5 from the floor. I'm just gonna put a little mark right there. And I'm gonna put another mark over here. That way if the post is leaning or anything, I should have an accurate cut. So now when we measure this, it's a little bit less than 64.5, but yeah, right at 64.5. So the post is pretty level, pretty straight. So again, we're gonna cut that, and we're gonna take off a ½ inch for the bracket. So we're gonna put this to the side. Again, we're gonna go 64.5 minus the bracket. So that should put us right here. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure, we're gonna take this out. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see this. So we're going to 64.5 minus the ½ inch for the brackets right there. And then I'm gonna take another measurement just to make sure. Yep, 64.5, and we might minus that out. So what we're gonna do now, same thing. Take my speed square, draw the line, my speed square again, and we're just gonna cut this out. There we go, nice and straight cut. So if I'm correct, this should fit in here. Yeah, if the wood is not warped or anything, you should be able to just cut 3 or 4 2x4s the same length and you're through. All right, so now on the pretty side, I think this is the pretty side. So yeah, we good. And keep in mind, we still have one more 2x4 for a cap. I got to figure out exactly how I'm gonna do that, but we're gonna basically look at it like this, that this is a win. We got that in place. Now we got to see about cutting the 2x4 for the cap. So if that was 64.5 and I'm not using any kind of caps and stuff right there, you know what? That's the difference. So on the bottom one, so guys, this is how it works. The ones on the bottom are gonna be facing down. The ones at the top are gonna be facing up. So now when I cut the 2x4 at the top, it's gonna cover all that and it's gonna look nice. That's what we need to do. Again, I'm gonna take another measurement. I'm just gonna go up. I'm gonna go up probably 3.5 inches and then take another measurement, 3.5. So it should be 64.5. Yeah, it's 64.5. So we're gonna cut our last 2x4, which is right here. So we're gonna use this side up. I guess this is gonna be the pretty side. And we're gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this a little bit longer than 64.5, probably a 1/16 of an inch or something like that. So this is the top. This is gonna be the handrail. So the way this works, now we'll just cut this with the speed square. Okay, there we go. So this is my handrail. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put HR for handrail. That way I know this is the handrail. And the other two is pretty much the same. So those two are gonna go for the bottom and the top. And let's see how this fits up here now. Yeah, so it's a little tight, but boom. That's gonna be the look, guys. So if you put this up underneath it, I think that's pretty good. I still may have to shave this, the handrail part, because I got this exactly at 64, but we're on our way now. All right, so that's pretty much how I'm gonna do all these sections up here. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting the rest of the handrails and paint and get ready to start painting the posts. So that's basically it. We got all the handrails cut out. We got the 2x4s that's going to support the aluminum balusters and stuff like that. So only thing we got to do now is stain. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to stain the posts, and we're going to stain the 2x4s, and then we're going to start installing the balusters with the screws. It's a little kit, and I'm going to show you how the kit is going to work with this. So as far as the bracing, the brackets for the 2x4s and stuff like that, it's going to be a link in the description. It's an affiliate link, but you can get these in the description if you need to do the same thing with your deck. Alright guys, good morning. We're back over here at the Death Trap deck, and we're ready to go ahead and start staining some and getting everything ready to put the post up. So let me just show you everything since you didn't get a chance to see everything last night before I left. Okay, so what we're doing today, the sun is already coming up. I was trying to beat the sun. What we're going to do today, we're going to stain all the 2x4s that I cut yesterday. We're going to cut the 4x4 post. We're not going to cut the 4x4 post. We're going to stain the 4x4 post. And probably do a cut in around the edge of the deck and try to get all that done today. I know it's going to be kind of tedious and it's going to be miserable because it's going to be real hot and stuff like that. So we're going to try to do as much as we can. With a little luck, we get a little overcast and the sun won't be beating on me all day and stuff. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to sweep around the floor a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and get the stain and start staining the posts and everything. We're just going to go around real quick. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing and stuff like that, so you don't have to keep looking at time lapses and stuff. That doesn't make any sense. So the first thing I did was I painted the post. So the reason I'm painting the post and the 2x4s right now is because when I put the brackets for the 2x4s on, I don't have to worry about getting stained on the brackets and stuff, which I want those to stay black, and and it's real tedious trying to cut in with that. So by just me going ahead and painting all the 2x4s and all the posts, that will eliminate that. Also, this will give me give it a little time. I'm doing it now, so this way it has a little time to dry. Especially when I get over here, when I hit the sun, it's gonna dry real quick. It probably dry before this stuff over here in the shade dries. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna show you what I got. So my handrail, of course, is the longest one, so that's gonna be easy to identify which one I've got from the handrail. The board that I have in the center, or the second board, is gonna be the one that's underneath the handrail. That's going to be the top part of that's holding the balusters, and the one at the bottom is going to be the one at the bottom to hold the bottom part of the baluster. So the way I'm doing it is I'm gonna stain it, and the one that's going to be at the bottom is going to be closest to the edge, and the one that's in the middle is going to be in the middle, and the one for the handrail is going to be the farthest out. So let's just do it this way. So this is my handrail, and also I got a marked handrail. Now on the bottom part of the handrail, even though I got it painted HR and stuff like that, I'm not going to put a second coat if I decide to put a second coat, so I can identify that, which way I want it to face down. But that can all change and stuff like that. If I see that the other side is look better and I put a second coat on it, then we'll go that route. I'm not going to paint the ends because we're going to have the caps, and they're going to be basically you're not going to see those because they're going to be against the post, or it's going to be behind the brackets. All right, so this is the first one that I need to stain. So I'm going to stain this whole piece, and I'm going to put it right here on the ground next to the post where it goes. And then the second one is going to go right there in the middle, and then the third one is going to be the one farthest one from the end, which is going to be the handrail. So it's real simple. Now, staining tip, if you're using the brush, you basically dip the brush into the stain and you tap it. You don't wipe it off like this, because you wipe it off, you wipe the stain off. So just put it in, tap, and now you're good to go. That's pretty much an old painter's trick that people don't tell you, but yeah, it doesn't make sense to wipe your stain or paint off your brush. So what you want to do, you just don't want it to fall. If you got a good brush, it shouldn't drip. So that's to tell you what you do. If you get a cheap brush, most likely it's going to drip off. So again, I'm just staining this. If I put a heavy enough coat on it, I probably can get away with one coat. But since this is new wood, it's probably not going to absorb as fast as it would if it was old. So that's the reason I probably end up putting two coats. So just go completely around like I'm doing now. And I'm not worried about touching this at the end, which I'm going to touch the sides to place this down. Now I'm painting all sides because I haven't decided which way I'm facing up. So I'm just going to get everything painted, and hopefully that is going to look even all the way around. So that's the first one. And we'll do this, and that way if I wiped anything off when I touched it, I just retouched it. I touched it up. All right. Second one, right here. Same thing. So this is going to be the one underneath the handrail and supporting the post. I notice I got a knot right here, so most likely this side is going to be facing out. And this is pressure treated wood, guys, so like I said, it doesn't absorb as fast, but you don't want it to start looking bad before the time. So by coming back and staining this earlier, you don't have to pressure wash it, and you don't have to worry about turning gray or anything like that, because you're protecting the rest of the wood and stuff. Okay, let's say that's a pretty even coat. Grab this, put it on the side. Now, of course, I have cut all the boards out, so make sure that you do not get them mixed up. So wherever the post is going, make sure you put them back in that area, because all the posts you probably cut are not the same length, because the distance between the posts could change and stuff like that. So make sure that you keep everything in the area that it needs to go in. All right, this is the handrail. I got the HR right here. And also, like I said, it's going to be the last one out from the edge of the deck. So again, I'm just staining. And to me, this is going to be way quicker, because it's going to take me the same amount of time to put the balusters up, but I don't have to worry about going back and painting or staining anything, because it's already done. So if you're going to stain with transparent or anything like that, your deck, after you putting your post up, my suggestion, if you putting the post up, paint first. Let's see if I can see that HR. Nope, I don't see it. Oh, it's right there. So the goal is right now is to make sure that everything looks even and get everything to dry good. You should be in good shape. Okay, so I did that. Let's go ahead and get ready to do this section right here. These are the 2x4s for this section. All right, so what I'm gonna do first, since I'm up this high and stuff like that, there's no railing, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the fascia of the deck. That way it's already done. I may put a second coat on it, but like I said, when I go back and check everything else, then I will see if I need to put a second coat. So again, handrail, middle, bottom. That's where I have the stack. Okay, so we're gonna dip, tap, tap. All right, I have that painted. And we'll take a look at it, you know, when I go around and stuff like that. All right, that's the fascia of the deck ledger. Let's go ahead and paint the back part of the post. Always paint the outside first. That way you can lean against the post and don't have to worry about getting in and staining anything on you. If you're scared of height, because we're on the second floor, or this is a second level deck, this might be a little difficult for you. I'm not really scared of height. I'm afraid of falling and hitting the ground. So just be careful when you do this. All right, so we got the outside, so now we're gonna hit the other three sides of this post, and then we'll continue on down where we'll start with the 2x4s, and then we'll go on down and do the rest. Okay, that's it. All right, we're gonna do these 2x4s like I did that. So let's look at the first post and the first set of 2x4s that I did. Let's see what's happening with that. Okay, right here is the first couple of posts that I did. Let me see, I'm gonna put my palm on it. It's dry to the touch right now, so that's good. So this right here, it's dry to the touch. Now I'm pretty sure underneath the bottom, It's dry to touch too. So when I'm gonna do the rest of them when I come back around. I'm gonna take a look at them to make sure that all of this has good coverage and I can still kind of see through the wood and stuff like that. I see the marsh stuff, so we're gonna go back and put a second coat. So this will require a second coat because, like I said, this is new wood. It's not gonna absorb like old wood will. Or if you let it age a little bit, you can probably get away with putting one coat on the handrails and the post. Usually on the floor, I always put 2 coats, no matter what. The reason I put 2 coats is because that's going to be your highest traffic areas is the floor. So you need to put 2 coats on the floor. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of them done. Then when we come back, I'll show you everything, and then we'll go ahead and start installing the rails. Okay guys, let's take a look around. I got everything stained with 2 coats. Got everything organized like these right here. These last 3 right here. Goes right here. This is the one at the bottom. This is the one in the middle, and that's the one on the top. That's the handrail. Same thing like that all the way around. I got all the posts with 2 coats around the floor where the post is going to be at. It's 2 coats on that too. So you can see the difference. How everything looks. That's the old color and that's the new color compared to 2. We haven't touched anything around the stairs yet, but we will. Look over here on the side. Look at the ledger. We got everything stained. Might be a couple of spots that I need to get touched up on, so we'll get that. We got to do this part. This side looks good. And if you look on the side of the house, that's from the last person who stained. So try not to get stuff on the sides of the house and stuff like that, and you should be good. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and start putting the posts together. I guess I'm gonna try to walk you through step by step so you'll see exactly how it's done, and then that way we can start installing the rest of them. We'll probably do a time lapse on a couple of them, but outside of that, I think we should be able to get you the idea of how to install this stuff. All right, I'm gonna get y'all set up and we're gonna get started. All right. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get our handrail piece out of the way, which is this one. All right, and then we got the piece that's gonna at the bottom, which is the one closest, and the one that's gonna go in the middle. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna line these up side by side. If they're the same size, it should be easy. But if one of them shorter than the other one, then what you want to do, you want to make sure that the center of both 2x4s are in the center where you're gonna start at. So that's pretty much what's the center. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a tape measure and we need to find center. So on the longest one, this is roughly 48 inches. So center is gonna be 2 feet. So right here is 2 feet. So this way, this is 1.5, so 1.5, so 3, so that'll be right there. So that should be the center of my 2x4 on that one. So one thing I need my square. We found center of both of the 2x4s. So I got center there, so we're gonna mark right here. And we got center here. You don't have to be exact. So those are the center of my 2x4. After you get that, you don't have to worry about anything else as far as keeping these together. So now, only thing you have to do is go 4 inches in each direction from the center of the 2x4, and that will give you the spot where you need to line up your post, and that's basically it. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna put my first one in here and here, just so you'll see how to do it. We're gonna try it 2 ways. We're gonna try with the drill bit, which is gonna take a small drill bit. Find center. Okay, and that's center. Now, before you do all this, make sure that whatever side that you want to face up on the one in the bottom, make sure you got that side up already. And the one that you're gonna have facing down, make sure that this one is facing up. All right, because if you don't like the way the other side look, you need to do this. You need to make sure. So that looks fine, but this looks good too. This side is going to be covered, so this side is going to be exposed, and this side is going to be exposed. So whatever side that you want to expose, you want to make sure that you have that side facing up right here where you're going to mark everything. We have the pieces that we use to attach the balusters to the post, and we have the screws that comes with it. So I drilled a hole on the first one. Let's see how easy this is going to be. Matter of fact, I'm going to take my gloves off because this is going to be the thing. So remember that in the kit for the 200 posts, I mean the 100 posts, you have 200 of these pieces of holding the post in place and 200 screws. So if you use all 100 of them, keep that in mind that you gotta do this 200 times to get what you need. All right, so we drilled a hole. I'm gonna take my other impact drill and we're gonna drill why is this not working? I think I didn't charge that battery up. I forgot to charge it up last night. Let's try this one. Okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, that's in. It doesn't have to be super tight. So that's one way to do it. Now let's see if we can get away by doing the same thing without drilling the hole. So we're just gonna take our pieces and get it dead center. There we go. So in theory, you don't have to drill holes if you're not really good drilling screws and stuff into wood or something like that. Maybe you would need to use a drill and a drill bit, but we're not going that way. I think I'm just gonna drill the pieces straight into the wood. So from center, all your pieces should be 4 inches. So that's the center. Inches apart. It's right in there. 75. So I'm pretty much on point where I need to get that. So I'm just doing 2 right now. So take my drill. Alright, so that's your post. 4 inches on center. Let's do this a little different. So what we're gonna do, after I got that one, let's make a jig. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go buy me a piece of wood that will fit in between these 2 pieces right here. So the only thing I would have to do is just line up this piece, put the wood right here, and then we'll mark the wood dead center. So I'm probably using like a short 2x4, and then the only thing I'm gonna do is put a piece right next to the 2x4, and then that way it'll be 4 inches on center. So let's take a measurement real quick, how much space is in between here. It looks like 3.25 inches. So it's more than the 2x4. It's more than a 2x4. Well, a little less than 2x4. So let's see what we can make a jig that'll work with this though. Me personally, let's take a measure of that again. So that's 4 inches on center. Let me see what the instructions say. Alright guys, I have the instructions. It's telling me that the spacing should be 4.5 inches on ceiling, which would be a 2x4. So that would work to our advantage. So let's take this out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the 2x4, put it to the side. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rest a little piece that's gonna hold the baluster next to the 2x4. Make sure that I'm in the center, and I'm just screw in. Alright, let's see if that's 4.5 on center. It's a little bit less, but I think that'll work better. So let's do this again. 2x4, and put that right against the 2x4, trying to find center. We're just eyeballing it. We're going to keep going down. Same thing, get it against the wood. I'm going to switch from my impact and go back to my drill. In the center, close to it. Alright, that's one way done. Let's go back the other way. Do a little adapter. So I got this right against the 2x4. From here, we just push down to get it in. There we go. Then we just move it over. Now, if you want to be exact, you can find center on each one going this way and that way, but I think this is going to take too much time, and I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference when you put this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just doing this one right here, and I know the rest of them I'm just going to go in the shade and do the rest of them. It doesn't make sense for me to stand in the sun and do this. Get this as accurate as possible. Looks like I might have enough for 2. Put that in the center, take a screw. One more should do it. Find the center. There we go. Now, to give you an example of what I'm doing on this one, should be the same thing. I don't have to really have that because I have the 2x4. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Seems like the camera doesn't like the sun, and I didn't either. So we're underneath the deck, and we're gonna do this underneath the deck. I'm gonna finish this one so we can identify which is which. So that way you can keep up with everything. Let's go ahead and put the end pieces on. So with the end pieces, only thing you wanna do, the one that's at the bottom, you wanna put the brackets on where it slides on this way, and you have the bracket piece facing up. They're on both sides. I have my hammer and my crowbar. All right. So you probably want your hammer nearby, stuff like that. All right, so with the brackets in place, you just need 2 screws out of the that came with the brackets on each side. So right here on the back, on the inside, you put your 2 screws in on the brackets, and then there we go. And notice I'm not pre-drilling no holes or anything. You just don't need it. Just get it centered and just push it in. And I turn my drill down so I won't be smoking it to Alabama, as some people say. All right, and kind of be careful with the wood. Keep in mind it's still kind of, it's dry to the touch, but it's not cured yet. So you can scratch the wood and stuff like that. All right, so that's the bottom one. So keep in mind that this is the bottom one, because if you get them mixed up, you can't get them mixed up, because when you do the top one, it's gonna look exactly the same as this one. So that's the bottom one. It's out the way. We're good with that. We're gonna go back to where we was putting the connectors for the balusters. So I came up with a solution. I'm gonna make a jig where I'm gonna have a 2x4 right here on the side, and I'm gonna take this 2x4, I'm gonna cut it down, and then I'm gonna probably put like a little slot or something right here where this show me where dead center is for this. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna make that real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish putting this together. All right, step one, you want to find some scrap wood. I'm gonna cut this off. We're gonna get rid of this one. It's not a good piece. All right, so let me get my square, cut this off real quick. All right, that's one. I'll cut this off. All right, so what I'm gonna do is put that right here. If I take this, we just want it where this will fall like that. It can go past it and things. We just want it where the two pieces are connected, and then we have a spot to put next connector. So basically what I have here is I got two 2x4s that's real small. I got one that's going to be on the back of the 2x4 where I'm going to put the connectors, and then the second one is just going to be the one the top two separated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a couple of holes, because I don't want this piece right here to split. And this is the block that's at the top. Try to find center, make sure it's flush on the end. Mark one hole, mark two. All right, got our holes lined up. Now the one at the bottom, I didn't have to drill into that because it's not going to split when I put the drill. When I put the screws in, but the block on the top, the 2x4 block at the top, it will split, but the one at the bottom shouldn't split. That's two. All right, so this is my jig, and the only thing that it's doing is basically I'm gonna press it right against the 2x4 that I'm putting the little pieces in. Now let's go ahead and mark center. So we're going to take a tape measure, and we're going to measure out 3/4 of an inch. All right, 3/4 of an inch right there. So now what I'm going to do is take my marker, and I'm going to mark it on a block right here. So that's centered. Now I'm going to take my square. Another way I could do it is just have the block upside down. Just go 3/4 of an inch like this, and then that'll mark it too. Take my square again. Okay, so that's my jig. Should work both ways. Now what I could do, probably take one of these right here, and I can probably notch it out if I want to. Try to find the center. Now if I would like, I can probably notch that out on both sides, and that probably make it easier for make sure that it's dead center, but I don't think it's that serious. I believe the way I'm doing it should work fine. All right, so now I got my jig. against the connector on that side. Now I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. Yeah, that looks like it's centered because I can see the dot from when I marked it off from the early mark. So if you don't like the heat or anything, you can do this in the house. That's the good thing about this. There you go. So that is 2. I'm gonna grab another bit for my drill, and that's magnetic. That way I can hold the screws in place and I don't have to worry about it falling out. This jig seems like it's working pretty good. Let's go this way. All right, we're gonna try to get it centered right there. I was hoping that it was gonna be magnetized. It's not. But one good thing I have is this piece slides up. That should hold it in place. Let's see. All right, that's centered. All right, that's tight. Let's go back the other way, just check it. Yeah, so since this not working, I'm going back to the other bit. Got it centered, perfect. All right, seems like it's working. Move it over. If you want to drill the holes, pre-drill the holes, now you have the little piece right here that's lined up with the drill bit. Let's see how that works. All right, put the drill bit back in. So what I'm gonna do is line my drill bit up with this line, and that's dead center. The only problem with doing it that way is the hole is not gonna line up. I just noticed that. So you still would have to hold this in place, take the drill bit and drill it. Yeah, that's a little bit too much time. So we're just gonna focus on using the screws and be careful not to strip them out. That's all. That's lined up. That's the hole. That's dead center. That's good. Get it centered. Now, one thing. Now, I just thought of this. You want to make sure that you have your left side and your right side matches. You can probably tell by when you put the end caps on, because if you have them turned the wrong way, what's going to happen is the posts are probably going to lean off because they're not going to be in the same position. So you want to make sure that you have it facing the right way. So I know this one. This is my left side, and that's my left side on that one. So when I get to the end on that side, this one should have less space than that space. So as long as the two sides match up, you shouldn't have no problem putting the post in. Okay, I can't put another one right there. You see, it's no 2x4 there. So we'll just go back to this side now. We'll finish up. Guys, it is hot today. It's like 97, 98 degrees today. It's nice to be able to do this in the shade. Get that in a little bit better. Try not to strip it out. There we go. And what's good about this jig, you can definitely look on the side and see if you're dead center, because I'm looking at this as dead center. Okay, with the screw. All right, this should be the last one. Center. Now, another way you can keep up with your 2x4s, you can mark one left and right with the marker. You know, take your marker or anything, and you can right. So this is the right side, and the right top, which you're not going to see after you put the little piece on and stuff like that. So just keep up with it. That's all I can tell you, people. You want to keep up which one is which. But to verify the two sides, let's put this back in. So all these should line up straight, which they do. Now, if I were to have it backwards, let's see. If I would turn it backwards, it still should be kind of centered because we did it on center. Now, I notice on this side, I'm going to bring you closer to see. So notice how far off that is right there. You see how that's kind of at an angle, and you see how far past that. And I haven't put the connector on yet. So that's how you can tell that that's backwards. So let's flip it around. Okay, that's less of a a difference and stuff like that. So that right there matches up. So regardless how you put it on at the top and stuff like that, you just want to make sure that your balances are straight up and down. If they're not straight up and down, then that means one of the pieces is on balance. And you can just flip it around and make sure that it matches up and stuff. So now we slam the end caps on right here. And I don't know why I didn't grab my hammer. I got it in the truck. That's good. That was kind of loose, so that's not an issue. Now we're going to take our screws. I'm going to screw these in. Alright, that's one end. What's funny about this, guys, these black screws looks just like plain drywall screws. So I hope that they are strong enough to hold everything up. Makes you wonder if you want to use these on your rails and stuff like that. So to me, the weakest point on my handrails will be these right here. And the reason I say that is because you're using drywall screws instead of regular deck screws. So you may want to consider upgrading your screws and stuff like that, but we'll give this a test and stuff like that. I believe that we should hold pretty sturdy and stuff. Okay, so now we're ready to take these back upstairs and install them on the deck. Alright guys, we're going to do this real quick. The battery's got to go dead. The sun is draining the battery. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our 4x4. We're just going to get it lined up where we can rest this on top. And we're going to try to get the 2x4 in the center. I know this is going to be tight. One. Can't get the second side in. I'll tell you how good I had my measurements. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this thing, because this camera's about to get ready to cut off. I'm gonna have to charge all up and stuff. I'm gonna get this one in at the bottom, and I'm gonna put the post in, and then I'm gonna put the second one at the top, which should be a little bit easier. So stand by, guys. Sorry about that. The heat and stuff was getting to me and the camera cut off, but I did get the handrails up. As you can see, I got this side and this side up. We're gonna go ahead and show you how I did it right here. And as you can see, I have all the 2x4s prepped and ready to put the post in. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna do the post, and I'm just gonna show you how I do it step by step if I can. All right, the first thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna take two 2x4s and we're gonna put them just like this, and we're gonna now try to make sure which one. When I mark this off, this was the one that should have been at the bottom, so I'm gonna confirm that before I attach it. And then the next one will just go the row up. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna make sure that we have the 2x4s with the little brackets facing up. And we're gonna try to slide them in place. So that's pretty tight. So I believe that is the bottom one. Okay, the top one, the brackets are gonna be facing down. And as you notice that I have the little pieces to connect there. We're just gonna put this up here just to see if it fits. It's a little loose, but it's almost tight. So this should be the one that goes up at the top. To verify, yeah, it's a little bit longer than the one at the bottom, so I know the one at the bottom is the one that goes at the bottom. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and knock this 2x4 in place. pretty, well, that's pretty close. And when I'm hitting this, I'm gonna try to just eyeball it, get it dead center of the 4x4 post, and keep in mind that you probably have to go back and touch up the 2x4 from when you tapping with the hammer. So kind of keep that in mind. So don't get too close to the brackets, because if you do, when you try to touch up, you're going to be messing up your brackets. Make sure that your 2x4 is resting on top of the 2x4s. And make sure you can get these 2x4s out. Get those out. All right. Like I said, you can kind of see if it's dead center. Or you can take your tape measure and you can measure the ends and stuff like that. I'm just gonna eyeball it. That looks real good. That looks good. So what I come to find out is when I put the 2x4 at the top on, if it's tight, it's going to be kind of hard to get your balancers in. So what you got to do, you got to put the balancer in one by one. And as you put them in, you're going to take your 2x4 right here, and you're just going to walk the balancers into each one of the little clips or the little brackets that hold the balancers. So take my balancers and we're just going to set them in. And what you could do, you can go ahead and attach the one at the bottom end. But I'm not doing it right now because I know it's sitting on top of the 2x4, but if I have to do any kind of adjustment, I'm able to do it because I didn't attach it. Now let me explain something real quick. This one and probably a few more that I've done as far as putting the little brackets in to hold the balancers. I didn't go from the center out. I went from the outside in, and the reason I did that, when I went from the center out, I had to use probably 2 extra more balancers because to not go over that 4 inches, I would have to put the ones in there, but it would only leave like 1 inch of space in between the 2x4, well, between the 4x4 and the balancers. So I like that doesn't look right have those on the end that close. So what I did was I just went ahead and just kind of worked my way from the outside in, and it worked out a lot better and stuff. How it did, I don't know. But like I said, you'll see it when I get up here how it looks and stuff. It's gonna look pretty even all the way across. If I didn't, like I said, it would have looked funny, and plus I would have used extra balancers just to get this to fit right. By doing it this way, offsetting it and counting it from the outside in, I probably saved at least 6 to 7 balancers. But now I saved probably 2 balancers in this area, and then like with the other one, I probably saved 6 to 7. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna start installing the 2x4 balancers on here. I'm gonna get y'all a little closer so y'all can see. Now, this part is gonna be, to me, is the hardest part to do. So one thing you want to do, you want to make sure that the way you did this is it lines up. So if the one at the bottom is 1 inch away, then the one up at the top needs to be 1 inch away. If it's not, it's going to, your balancer is going to be crooked because you probably got the posts on backwards after I showed you how to connect them. So always try to keep up with which direction they're in and stuff like that. So we're going to look at it first. Yeah, that looks like it. Make sure that you don't have them on the wrong side, because if you have them on the wrong side, just turn back with your 2x4, turn backwards. What's going to happen is everything is going to look off. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put the balancer in the first hole first, and we're going to kind of hold the 2x4 at an angle. So that slides into place. Now we go to the next one. And you have to keep doing this all the way down. And there might be times where you have to go back and realign the balancers with the 2x4, so just take your time. This is going pretty good right now. Still in. As long as you have your 2x4 at an angle, like leaning back to the first one, you shouldn't have an issue getting these in. The closer you get to the end, the harder it's going to get. See how that one just popped out? So we're trying to not have them pop out on you. All right, all these are still in. Let's see how hard it gets. And that was about to fall out. That's what I'm saying. So take your time, and we're gonna make sure we get them. Slide y'all back a little bit. I got like 7 more to go, but like I said, it gets harder as you get closer to the end. All right, if I can get these last 4, we good. So that one slid out. Try to get that one back in. Get that one in place and line up the next one. So the way I found out is kind of easy. Is just the one you put in, just kind of hold it at the top, and then let it slide down when you get to it. There we go. That's the last one. Did I keep all of them in? I think I did. All right, and notice it wobbles and stuff at the top. If you don't have that and it was tight, this was going to be kind of almost impossible to do. So having that loose space up there at the top helps, but you can get away with it being tight. You just have to probably tap it down and stuff a couple of times with the hammer and stuff. All right, so that's in place. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our screws and we're going to kind of get this center, and then we're going to screw the screws in. And after we get the screws screwed in, we're just going to not tighten them up, just get them started so it'll be in the wood, and we can check to make sure that they're centered. And if you want to check to make sure that everything is level, you can. So like I said, I'm just going to kind of eyeball and make sure that it's centered. You can look at it and see that looks centered. Yep. And I got off center a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, if it's not centered to my liking, I go back and reposition in another hole. There we go. That looks centered. Okay, I got it in, but I haven't tightened it up yet. So that's one. And let's put one on the opposite side toward the bottom. I put one at the top. Same thing. Okay, got that in. I can put another one in, or I can either go to the other side. And if you look at these screws, they look like drywall screws. Hopefully, they're pretty strong. All right, so I got those four in. I didn't tighten them up all the way. Come on this side. On this side, we're gonna do the same thing. Try to get it in the center or close to it. I'm gonna run the screws in. Like I said, I'm not tightening them all the way. Now I'm gonna go on the opposite side toward the bottom. Since I put one at the top, and we're gonna try to screw right here. Alright, so now we can put the other two screws in. That's one. That's two. Alright, as you can see, everything is in place. It looks level. Now, the reason I wasn't really worried about it being too center on here is because when I put the 2x4 on here, I'm gonna center the 2x4 to the top of this cap. And hopefully, well, I know when I put the 2x4 on there, it should be even with this one right here, the one next to it. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these bolts up. So make sure that your bit is pretty good, because if you have a gap and stuff in it, you can still tighten this up. You just tighten it down, because these little brackets are gonna bend when you tighten them up. So I'm gonna do the ones on the outside first. All right. Side that one, just pull tight. All right, there we go. So that's gonna hide all your gaps and stuff like that when you tighten it up. So now let's go back on this side. Same thing. Side that pull tight. There we go. And like I said, make sure you have a good bit, because if you don't, it's gonna give you issues. Now we have that one in. We can go ahead and put the screws in at the bottom. And like I said, you can tighten you can put the screws in at the bottom first before you put the ones at the top or the brackets in. It should be all the same. It's your preference. But one thing I found out, as you can see, doing it the way I just did, now I got to reach through the bars and stuff to attach the outside ones. So the rest of them, I probably is not gonna do it that way. I'm just gonna get it from the. I'm gonna make sure that I attach the bottom one first before I put the post in. All right, let's go ahead and get a couple of screws in. That's one. Two. Now, regardless if you put the screws in last down here, before you do that, make sure you do that before you take the 2x4s out, because as soon as you remove the 2x4, this is going to fall down, and then you got to take all this loose and stuff. So it's probably you just go ahead. It's probably you go ahead and just go ahead and do screwed up brackets in at the bottom first, and then that way you don't have to worry about fighting the post or worry about it falling. All right, so let me see if I can get this outside. I should be able to. Yeah, that's kind of rough. Almost got it. There we go. That's one. Get the one at the bottom. That's gonna be the toughest one. That's two. Yeah, that's kind of rough. So make sure that you're screwing the bottom brackets in first before you put the post in. I'm just so anxious to get the post in. That's all I wanted to do right now. All right. I'm gonna slide the 2x4 out after I get that one done. It looks centered. Like I said, if I don't like the way I can adjust it now, but it's better. Like I said, it's gonna be better you get it screwed in before you put the post in. That's one. That's two. So I gotta get the two on the outside, and then we're gonna put the 2x4 on at the top. All right, got that one in. Let's get this top one in. All right, that's good. Now we're gonna pull out 2x4s. So I didn't hammer the 2x4 down on top of these 2x4s because I know I had to take them out. I just kind of got it resting on the top of it, so now I can slide them out. All right, so now we just gotta go with the handrail. Now with the handrail, it should be the full length from this post to that post. If it's a little tight, that's not an issue. It's a little tight, but it's pretty much a perfect fit. So what I'm doing with the 2x4, I'm making sure that the 2x4 is even with the 4x4s. There we go. So now I'm gonna take some deck screws and I'm gonna screw in from the bottom at an angle up to the 2x4, so that way it'll lock this 2x4 in place. So let me get my drill and deck screws. All right, my deck screws, I have some 1 5/8. They seem like they was too short, but they didn't penetrate through. What you don't want to do is penetrate all the way through the top of this. So I got some 2-inch ones. I'm gonna try those and see how that works. So again, I'm just gonna push down on the 2x4 and I'm gonna shoot the deck screw in at an angle. So kind of like this right here. We're gonna go in the angle and we're gonna go up to this 2x4. Kind of gotta be careful because the 2x4 will probably suck back this way. As you're screwing in. So I got that one in. I'm gonna do one from the back. The 2-inch one seemed like they work better. Going in reverse. There we go. There we go. And make sure you're going at the angle where you're going to hit the 2x4 at the top. There we go. Now we can tighten this one up. And we're just going to keep doing that. I did that with these over here. These are pretty tight. So again, I'm gonna do it from the back. There we go. It's got locked in place. Make sure you have that angle real good, because if you don't, you're not going to really have it. There we go. So I have that, so I put like maybe 4 more screws in it. That should have it locked in place real good. Put another one right here. So far, so good. Yeah, that's real tight. And it's even with the one that right there, so that's good. All right, so that's what you have to do to get the post in. And like I said, I screwed it tight right here. That goes tight. And then I shot these at an angle that attach that way you don't have no screws at the top, and you don't have nothing penetrating the top of the wood, like water getting in between the screw and the wood when it rains and it sinks down and starts running out. So this way it keeps the top. This way it keeps the top from rotting out. Okay, so I got that piece in. I'm just gonna get y'all set up, and I'm gonna just do the rest of them now. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this part of the video. All right, here we go. Okay guys, I got everything installed. All the handrails are done. All the balusters are up. All the brackets are installed. Everything is nice and tight. So let me just go over everything. Basically, this one right here was done. Measuring from find the center and then put the pole in the center and then measure out. The rest of these, I put my little jig and stuff on the side and just work my way from the side in. By doing that, I saved a couple of balusters, probably like maybe 5 total. So that gives me enough to do a gate right here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see me build a gate for this. It looks good. I believe I did everything correctly and stuff like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure there might be some people out there that say I did something wrong. Just in case you're wondering, this is a little bit above 48 inches or right at 48 inches. The balusters I got were 32 with the 2x4s and stuff added, and the 3.5 gap at the bottom and stuff like that. That put this around 48 inches. The spacing between here is just basically a 2x4 with the width in between this is within the code and stuff like that. It's 4 inches or less. If I'm at 4 inches, it's probably like right here in the corners or something like that. Maybe right here. I might be at 4. That is because, like I said, we kind of work from the edge over to the next edge and stuff like that to get less balusters. And I think it came out pretty good. Okay guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you found the video entertaining. If not, at least I hope that you learned something from it. If you didn't, go back and look at the video because you skipped over the good parts. And I have 2 more videos for the Death Trap deck, which is a series. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell so you know when those videos come out. And if you're a subscriber here, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. If I haven't posted something in a while, that's probably because I might have been kind of burnt out and stuff like that, or there's no jobs and stuff coming in. So this job right here is not really pressure washing, but it does have something to do with my business. So this is giving you an idea of something that you can do if during the off season, or if it's slow for you and you're good doing woodwork and stuff like that. Because this customer right here, even though this is not really a pressure washing video, they have to call me back to pressure wash the deck when it gets mold or any kind of algae and stuff grows on it. And also they may want to get the house done, and also they may want to get the concrete and driveway done. So keep that in mind. Just do like little extra stuff for customers like this, because I did, like I said, pressure wash this deck before I stain it. So I'm about to get ready to stain it. So don't get discouraged if you don't have anything coming in. Like I said, do side jobs and stuff like that can probably lead you into more jobs and stuff like that to pressure wash it. Okay guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you hit that like button. A lot of people are not hitting the like button. Or if you don't like the things you see, leave me don't hit the don't dislike button. Just go ahead and make me a comment down below so I can respond to you. This is Marcos from Equipment Pressure Washing, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
It's him and I, Equipment.